August 2012. Sweltering air enveloped Elephant Butte Lake, New Mexico, where water levels had dropped to their lowest in half a century. Cracked mud sprawled everywhere, the smell of metal and rotting algae rising with every desert gust. Under the blazing sun, the Dive Rescue 7 team worked around a large metal mass just detected by sonar more than 200 yards from the south embankment. Figures in shiny black wetsuits moved slowly through the murky water, anchor lines taut like jagged teeth on the still lake surface. Center, we've identified the object. Looks like an old car frame. The commander's voice crackled over the radio, hoarse and dry as the wind. Need forensics support. This might be the station wagon we've been searching for over the past 30 years. A hiss rang out as the steel cable tightened. The water boiled, white foam bursting, and from the mud over 10 meters deep, a rusted portion of the roof emerged gradually. The blurry license plate revealed the numbers 7X294. It was the Ford Country Squire, the car tied to the haunting disappearance that had obsessed truth or consequences for 3 decades. As the roof tore open, the first thing revealed was a woman's leather handbag, then a small doll with a frayed dress. Whispers rose around the scene. "Oh my God, it's them." What started as a routine survey by the rescue team during the drought had become the biggest discovery in Socorro County's investigative history. A clue, thought buried by the water, now surfaced, promising answers to questions that had haunted this town for 31 years. 3 decades earlier, the Moreno family, Miguel, Teresa, and their 2 young children, vanished without a trace on the road to Albuquerque. No bodies, no car, just rumors and a hastily closed file stamped, presumed accidental drowning. For 30 years, Elephant Butte remained silent as a grave, until today. As the car was fully pulled from the water, a technician bent down, voice trembling. "There's a hole in the driver's door, looks like a bullet hole." The entire scene fell silent. Reporters' lenses panned slowly, capturing the moment sunlight reflected off the rusted iron and remaining cream paint, the sole evidence of an unacknowledged crime. Before we continue the journey to uncover the truth buried at the lake bottom, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Your support helps bring these seemingly forgotten cases back to light and ensures you don't miss the next stories. Because the Elephant Butte case isn't just the end of a disappearance, it's the first domino in a chain of events that will expose secrets hidden for 3 decades. And when authorities finally catch the suspect, it's not a stranger, but the man who once wore a sheriff's badge, whom the whole community called a symbol of justice. This story isn't just about a car found, but about a town betrayed, a family erased, and a truth the water couldn't hold forever. The night of June 24, 1981, the town of Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, was immersed in the thick summer heat. The air reeked of dry sand and gasoline, the chirps of cicadas and desert wind blending into a monotonous hum of melancholy. The wall clock ticked steadily in the house as Miguel Moreno, 42, auto mechanic, dragged a small suitcase to the door. Teresa, his wife, a night shift nurse at the local clinic, closed the fridge, double-checked the keys. The 2 kids, 10-year-old Anna and 7-year-old Luis, sat in the back seat, clutching a doll and a toy car, excited for the trip to Albuquerque. They planned to depart at 9:30 p.m., taking US 380 to make it to the aunt's house by morning. The cream-colored Ford Country Squire rolled out of the small street, headlights sweeping over the wooden fence, illuminating the sign, Moreno Garage, 24 hours. Repairs. Neighbor Carmela Ortiz stood on her porch, waving. She clearly remembered the car's lights fading northward, swallowed by the darkness. On the highway, temperatures still hovered near 100 degrees F. The road shimmered with heat, insects splattering against the windshield. Miguel drove slowly, the radio airing a brief report on the drought at Elephant Butte Reservoir. Teresa laughed and said something to the kids, her voice lost in the wind. At the Socorro gas and feed station, the clock read 9:45. They stopped to refuel, buying 2 bottles of water and a bag of ice. Station attendant Donnie Vasquez remembered clearly. Miguel asked him about the route to the dam, saying he wanted a shortcut along the lake because it's cooler at night and less traffic. Vasquez watched them leave, the country squire slipping into the night. A moment later, he saw a dark green police car appear from the opposite direction, driving slowly, then merging behind the Moreno family's cream Ford Country Squire. Donnie didn't think much of it, just a routine patrol on a quiet night. But the next morning, upon hearing the 4 Moreno family members had vanished, that image suddenly flashed back in his mind, eerily clear. It was the last time anyone saw the Moreno family. On the morning of June 25th, Teresa didn't show up at the hospital. Miguel didn't open the repair shop. The house door was locked, the dining table half set, cold coffee cups on the table. Luisa's vaccination reminder note was stuck on the fridge, the wall clock still ticking steadily, as if time didn't know the people in this house had disappeared. The phone rang incessantly, unanswered. When relatives arrived, they knocked, called names, only silence answered. By noon, they called the police. "The whole family is missing," a cousin said, voice shaking. "The car is gone too." The report quickly reached the Socorro County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Harold Kemp was the first to receive it. He sat behind a small desk, morning light filtering through blinds, casting fine dust particles in the air. "Moreno family?" he repeated, voice low. He knew them. Miguel had repaired cars for the department, and Teresa was a night nurse at the local health clinic. Not the type to just up and leave. Kemp stood, hung his cowboy hat on the rack, grabbed the radio. "Get me all patrol units around US 380, especially toward Elephant Butte Reservoir," he ordered. "Check the entire dam area." As the radio waves echoed across the desert, Sheriff Kemp couldn't have imagined that this first search order would kick off a 31-year journey, where he himself, the one issuing the order, would later become the center of the very case he was opening. Patrol teams began combing from noon. Temperatures topped 100 degrees Fahrenheit, asphalt radiating heat like a furnace. 3 police cars split directions, one toward Socorro, one to San Marcial, one following the dam route. Overhead, the Civil Air Patrol Cessna circled, scanning for tire tracks, glints of metal, any signs. But all they saw was sand, dust, and barren rock. That afternoon, Kemp and 2 other deputies arrived at the Moreno house. The door was locked, no signs of forced entry. In the living room, the ceiling fan spun slowly, stirring a stuffy sun smell. Water glasses on the table had dried cracked, curtains billowing in the breeze. Inside the fridge, Teresa had prepped eggs and bread for breakfast the next day. Everything indicated they planned to return. Kemp looked around, then said quietly, "No signs of voluntary departure." By evening, no team reported results. No skid marks, no debris, no radio signals. A lieutenant reported over the radio. They had all evaporated. Kemp drummed fingers on the spread map before him, red pins lining the route. He looked up. If it was an accident, we'd see something. On the second morning, Kemp expanded the scope. The National Guard was called in for support, bringing metal detectors and motorboats to check the lake edges. Some local volunteers joined, including Miguel's cousin. Under the harsh sun, they walked sand strips, flagging every suspicious tire track. Nothing matched the Ford Country Squire's tires. The desert sand was flat, as if no wheels had ever rolled over it. Meanwhile, in town center, rumors spread. Some said they fled debt, others whispered kidnapping. At a small diner near the highway, people gossiped, speculated, everyone sure something was off. Kemp, hearing the trifles, replied coolly, "No evidence for anything." That afternoon, he visited the health office where Teresa worked. The head confirmed she never missed without notice. She was punctual, careful, and never left suddenly, she said. The words left Kemp silent for a long time. On the second night, aerial search continued over the dam area. Spotlights swept the dark water, reflections flickering, then fading. An officer reported over radio, "Nothing detected, Sheriff. No oil slicks, no floating objects." The response hit like a hammer, in the already thick, weary air. Back at headquarters, Kemp wrote the interim report. Family of 4 missing since June 24th, presumed travel toward Albuquerque. No sign of accident or foul play. Search ongoing. Outside, it was still hot. Yellow streetlights shone on empty roads. In small houses along Main Street, people locked doors earlier than usual. A quiet unease spread. No one said it aloud, but everyone felt it. On the third morning, Rosa, Teresa's sister, brought a family photo to see Kemp. She placed it on the desk, Miguel beside Teresa. The kids beaming. They had no reason to leave this place, Rosa said, tears welling. Kemp didn't reply, just nodded. Inside, something stung. A disappearance reason couldn't explain. As the sun set behind the mountains again, the search entered day 4. Desert wind whistled through steel railings on the dam, carrying sand and hot metal scent. In Sheriff Kemp's small office, the topo map lay spread, but no new marks. He sat staring at the red pins, all leading to one place. Elephant Butte Reservoir. Kemp leaned back, lit a cigarette, sighed. Could be accident, could be lost, he said, as if reassuring himself. But outside, in the scorching heat of the 4th night, the small town began feeling something wrong growing, silent as the dark lake water itself. 3 days since the search began, and Elephant Butte Reservoir remained eerily still, as if hiding all answers. The lake stretched miles, black and mirror-flat, reflecting New Mexico's blinding desert sun. Every morning, Sheriff Harold Kemp sent teams back to the dam area, but nothing new. No slides, no wreckage, no radio signals ever sent from the Moreno family's Ford Country Squire. That morning, Frank Delgado, the youngest deputy on the team, suggested rechecking the southeast dam area, where a curved railing section had been overlooked by other teams due to strong currents. Delgado was meticulous, quiet, always carrying a small notebook with detailed notes. "I want to be sure," he said, voice hoarse from sleepless days. Kemp eyed him, pondered seconds, then nodded. "Go, but don't waste time. I don't think they're there." By noon, sun scorched the dam like fire. Delgado climbed over warning fences, approached the steel railing. His hands traced dusty red iron bars. Midway through the curve, he stopped, a cream-colored paint streak, nearly half a meter long, smeared downward, the shade nearly matching the Moreno family's country squire. Delgado bent, scraped lightly with a nail, burnt metal smell hitting him. Right below his feet, in concrete crevices, a small glass shard reflected sunlight, like car windshield glass. He froze, chill running down his spine. If this was from that car, it meant it had gone off the dam. Delgado grabbed an evidence bag, carefully lifted the glass, marked coordinates, snapped 4 shots with his Nikon F2. In the last photo, light from the paint streak created a faint line like old blood. He raced back to headquarters as dusk fell, covered in red dust. Kemp stood on the porch, smoking. Delgado handed the evidence bag and photos, said curtly, "I think I found something." Kemp took them, glanced, expression unreadable. "Cream paint?" he asked. "Could be construction truck. They repainted the railing months ago." Delgado shook head. "No way. Paint is abraded, slid in fall direction. It's not fresh paint." Kemp didn't respond. He turned, stubbed the cigarette, said, "We've searched 3 days, no bodies, no car. Nothing proves they were here. Don't turn this into chasing shadows." His voice was cold, final. Delgado stood silent, fists clenched. He knew the rules, no arguing with superiors, especially the sheriff. But in his mind, something was off. The next morning, Delgado proposed deploying divers under the railing. "Just 2 guys, 3 hours, he said. After hesitation, Kemp agreed, perhaps to prove him wrong. The dive team, 2 local cops, and 1 civilian diver. No sonar, no lake bottom map, just anchors, flashlights, and instinct. Cold, murky water, strong currents nearly sweeping them away. After nearly an hour probing, they found only rocks, mud, driftwood. Surfacing, one gasped, If anything's here, it's deeper than we can reach. Kemp eyed Delgado. See, nothing. Delgado, silent, head down packing gear. In his mind echoed wind whistling through steel rails, and the glinting paint streak under sun, evidence he knew was real, though denied. That afternoon, Kemp announced halting all underwater ops. Budget won't allow, and I can't let my men drown on a hunch, he said, in a brief meeting. Others, silent. Delgado open-mouthed to protest, but Kemp's icy glare made him swallow it. As everyone left, Delgado returned to his desk, removed film from camera, sealed in envelope. He scribbled, Elephant Butte, June 27, 81, East Railing. Then stashed in private drawer, locked. That night, he stood on his porch, gazing afar, where the dark lake loomed like a giant ink blot. In the wind, he imagined metal scraping, engine plunging into water, sinking. Delgado didn't know that moment would be the only thing preserving the truth for 30 years. The next morning, as first light crept over Elephant Butte Dam, Frank Delgado still pondered the cream paint on the railing. He hadn't slept. The slanted slide image replayed, precisely toward the lake bottom. He knew, to prove it a real case, he needed a witness. That afternoon, stopping at Socorro Gas and Feed, Delgado met Donnie Vasquez, the attendant, last to see the Moreno family. He was wiping pump glasses, sweat-soaked shirt. Delgado approached softly. Want to go over some details from that night, Donnie? You were the last to see them, right? Donnie nodded, hands hesitant. Yeah, I remember they came around 10. The man was chatty, bought ice water and candy for the kids. Everyone seemed normal. Delgado jotted quickly. And after, they left. I watched. Then another car came from opposite. Police car, old, dark green. I think county. It went same direction as them. Delgado looked up. You sure? Donnie nodded. Sure. Saw red lights reflect in station mirror. It followed them a bit. First time in 3 days, Delgado felt pieces fitting. He knew only Sheriff Kemp took a patrol car out that night. If Donnie was right, Kemp was there when the Morenos left. He said quietly. Would you do a formal statement? Donnie nodded, uneasy. Delgado clapped his shoulder. Just tell it like you did. It'll be fine. That evening, Delgado drafted preliminary report, detailing statement. He filed interim in internal system to submit official next morning. He didn't know hours later, it would vanish. Next morning, Sheriff Kemp showed at Socorro Gas and Feed, drove personal sedan, no uniform, no lights. Attendants said he went straight to Donnie, pulled smokes, borrowed lighter. They talked in parking corner, voices low urgent. No one overheard, just saw Donnie head down, hands in pockets, nodding repeatedly. After 10 minutes, Kemp patted shoulder, faint smile, left. That afternoon, Delgado returned for signed statement. Donnie packing up, unusually fidgety. When asked, he shook head. I'm not sure anymore. Maybe I was wrong. Lots of cars that night. I was tired, didn't see clear. Delgado stunned, but yesterday you said definite police car, described color. Donnie avoided eyes, thought again. Maybe not, don't want involved. Delgado recognized fear in voice, not fuzzy memory, but threat. He asked softly. Who talked to you this morning? Donnie no answer, just repeated. I don't remember, finally turned back inside, locked station door. That night, Delgado back at office, opening typewriter for yesterday's report print, found file edited. Description line, witness saw police car following, deleted, replaced by witness unable to confirm, following vehicle type. Does not recall details clearly. Rewritten in different font, slightly italic. He stared at paper, blood rushing to face. Who touched this file? He demanded. Night secretary softly. Sheriff took it to review this morning, said spelling errors. Delgado crumpled paper in hand, feeling sole proof of rightness lost. Kemp controlled whole case, and clearly didn't want mention of that dark green police car that night. Before leaving office, Delgado opened personal notebook, copied full original Donnie's statement with date time. Hid notebook in private cabinet, locked, labeled red. Do not submit, personal backup. Outside, desert wind blew through Sheriff Building Hall, carrying metal dust and gas smell. Delgado at window, watching Kemp talking to someone in lot. Sun glinted off silver badge on chest, blinding. In that moment, Delgado realized Moreno disappearance, no longer accident. Someone silencing truth, and Donnie Vasquez first forced quiet. 5 days after Moreno family vanished, sun still blazed gold over desert, Elephant Butte Lake eerily flat. Each day, search teams left at dawn, returned at dusk, bringing only fatigued disappointment. They'd combed entire dam area, every sand strip, every US 380 curve, even foot patrols along both shorelines. No traces, no debris, no signals from Cream Ford Country Squire. 6th morning, Sheriff Harold Kemp held meeting in office. Air heavy, windows open but no breeze. He sat at desk, eyes ringed, voice hoarse from sleep loss. We've searched long enough, he said, eyes scanning each. No evidence of crime. I believe just accident. Maybe their car went into lake. Currents carried away, water here over 70 feet deep. Frank Delgado stood at the back of the room, fists clenched. He said firmly, Sheriff, with all due respect, I don't believe it was an accident. I've had the full water level maps pulled. If the car went off in the dam area, there should at least be an oil slick or debris floating up. Kemp looked up, staring straight at him. Are you saying I'm wrong? Delgado replied, voice low but firm. I'm just saying there's something that hasn't been checked. The paint on the railing, the glass shard I collected. Kemp slammed his hand on the table. Enough, Delgado. We're not chasing baseless theories. The file will be noted as probable accident. No criminal case here. The meeting room fell silent. Several officers glanced at each other, none daring to speak. Kemp signaled the secretary, draft a press release. State, presumed accidental drowning. Delgado felt blood rush to his face. He knew he couldn't argue more without losing his job, but he couldn't stay silent either. As everyone left the room, he stepped forward, placed the photo stack on Kemp's desk. 4 shots of the railing, the elongated paint streak, the reflective glass. I'll submit these to the evidence file, he said. Kemp glanced briefly, then pushed the stack aside. You do that, it's pointless. No car, no bodies, no crime. You're wasting my time. That afternoon, Kemp announced to local media that the official search was over. Standing in the glaring sun, he spoke briefly before the cameras. After combing the entire Elephant Butte Dam area, we conclude the Moreno family likely met with an accident. Their vehicle may have sunk in deep water inaccessible to us. We won't stop monitoring, but we'll narrow the search scope. The news aired on Santa Fe TV that evening. Images of Kemp with his deep voice, calm face, somewhat reassured the public. But Delgado, sitting in the break room, only felt his heart tighten. He knew the story wasn't that simple. 2 days later, he was called into the office. On Kemp's desk was a transfer form. You'll go to admin in Las Cruces, Kemp said, not meeting his eyes. We need careful people on files, not ones doubting everything. Delgado gave a wry smile. In other words, you want me to shut up. Kemp tilted his head, voice even. I want everyone focused on the job. You should learn that. Delgado left the room without a word. He understood this was no longer an investigation, but a deliberate cover-up. Before leaving, he quietly visited the archives. In the darkness and damp paper smell, he opened the Moreno disappearance file, photographed all documents with his personal camera. He secretly copied the radio log, noting Unit 12, in area near Elephant Butte, on the night of June 24th. He knew Unit 12 was Kemp's vehicle. As he left the building, afternoon sun hit the glass door, reflecting Socorro County Sheriff's Office, like a mocking reminder. Behind, Kemp still stood at the second-floor window, hands in pockets, watching. They didn't speak, but both understood the case wasn't over, just buried under falsified files. That evening, In his small rented room in Las Cruces, Delgado developed the film of the paint streak, glass shard, and Donnie Vasquez's notes. He put it all in an envelope, sealed it, wrote on the front, "Moreno case, evidence withheld. Elephant Butte, June 1981. He hid it at the bottom of his suitcase, among old clothes, then turned off the light. Somewhere out there, the lake remained flat, wind battering iron railings in a steady hum, like the heartbeat of a secret refusing to die. The official investigation ended, file noted, presumed accidental drowning, but the truth had been snuffed out from within. After the final press conference in the summer of 1981, the Moreno family disappearance faded from local news headlines. In just weeks, it became a story everyone knew but no one mentioned. The missing Moreno family poster at the town post office faded, photo edges curled by sun, then a strong wind blew it away, no one bothering to repost. In September that year, Sheriff Harold Kemp officially closed the file, signing the last line. Presumed accidental drowning, no further investigation required. A short sentence, ending a 4-person case. After that, life continued as if nothing happened. Truth or consequences, residents returned to daily work, Elephant Butte Dam reopened for fishing tourists, and Kemp was commended for effective media crisis handling. He received a 20-year service medal, then became a familiar face at community events. The tough, calm cop, always keeping order in Socorro County. Everyone remembered his tight smile and favorite saying, "The desert swallows everything, and that's what makes it peaceful." Meanwhile, Frank Delgado quietly left the force. He said nothing to the press, just submitted sick leave and moved out of town. He carried a small suitcase with 2 things never leaving his hands: the radio log, noting Unit 12, near Elephant Butte, and 4 photos of the railing paint streak. He stored it all in a small safe, bought from a junk shop, locked it, placed in his bedroom. Occasionally, Delgado opened the safe, looked at the photos. The cream paint streak, still faintly visible in the frame, blending with the silvery sky. He couldn't prove anything, but couldn't forget. Some nights, he dreamed of the country squire, slowly sinking into water, wind and metal clashing in heavy sounds, then silence. He woke, turned on light, smoked till dawn. As for Kemp, after 1992, he retired to a Hatch suburb, bought a small farm, grew chiles and raised horses. Local papers praised him, the man who kept the county safe for 2 decades. No one remembered his last case was never truly solved. Occasionally, young reporters asked about the Moreno family. He just smiled. Old story, a sad accident, that's all. The 1990s passed. Elephant Butte Lake water rose higher than ever, levels up nearly 15 feet, covering the railing area where Delgado found the paint streak. All traces buried deep in thick mud. From a distant shore, no one could imagine beneath that calm water was where a family vanished. The town changed. New asphalt roads laid, Socorro gas and feed station closed, sign fallen. Donnie Vasquez moved to Texas, no forwarding address. Older townsfolk told newcomers there was an accident back then, but no one remembered the car occupants' names. 30 years, no new reports, no file reopenings. Paper records moved to county courthouse basement, thick with dust like thin ash. In 2006, Delgado, now gray-haired, living alone in a mobile home near Las Cruces, was diagnosed with heart disease. He still kept the old safe by his bed. Each opening, he touched the railing photo, muttered, "They never left there." Up north, Kemp regularly appeared at police memorials, front row, receiving applause. Press called him Desert Hero, symbol of the old guard, steadfast and honest. No one suspected. Then, in 2011, after New Mexico's longest drought summer in history, Elephant Butte Lake began receding. First time in 30 years, rocks under the old railing emerged from water. And as dry wind blew, carrying muddy and rusty iron smell, something, buried for 3 decades, began resurfacing. Lake water rose, then fell. But the truth lay still at the bottom, waiting to see light. March 2012, spring in New Mexico came late. On the desert, dry winds still scorched, as if winter refused to retreat. At the small Santa Fe Chronicle office, 29-year-old reporter Elena Cruz was editing a series on unsolved disappearances in the Southwest. She chose the topic not just professionally, but personally. Teresa Moreno, disappeared in 1981, was her mother's cousin. Elena grew up with vague stories about that family. A summer night, 4 vanished, no trace. As a child, passing Elephant Butte Reservoir, her mother always turned away, as if the place held something not to see. Over 30 years, it became local legend, and for Elena, unending mystery. One early April morning, amid reader mail stacks, she saw an old brown envelope, no sender, no postmark, just rough typed. For E. Cruz. Personal. She opened it. Inside, a blurry black and white photo of a rusted steel railing by the lake, left corner a bright paint streak diagonal, like a slide mark. At the photo bottom edge, handwritten, "The boot still remembers." Elena sat motionless seconds, fingers trembling slightly. That line like a whisper from the past, "The boot still remembers." She examined the background, rocks, dust, distant flat black water. Scene nearly matched her mother's tales of where the Moreno family vanished. In press clippings she'd gathered over the past month, one name appeared often in the 1981 case early stages, Deputy Frank Delgado, first reporting the railing paint streak. This man, per personnel records, left the force in 1982 and lived reclusively in Las Cruces. She decided to find him. 3 days later, Elena drove across the desert. When she arrived, Delgado's mobile home stood isolated at road's end dust. The gray-haired, gaunt man opened the door with wary eyes. "You're a reporter?" he asked, voice hoarse. Elena nodded, showed the photo. "I think you took this original shot." Delgado took it, hands trembling slightly. Light reflected in his eyes. "My God," he whispered. "This is where I shot in 1981. But this photo isn't mine. Someone just reshot the same angle." He looked up at her. "Tell me, who sent it to you?" "No one," Elena replied. "No address, no postmark. Just the photo, and this writing." She pointed to the handwriting. Delgado read aloud slowly. "The boot still remembers." He was silent long, then said, "Someone's trying to tell us that the lake hasn't given back all it holds." In the small room heavy with tobacco smell, Delgado told Elena the whole story about the cream paint streak, glass shard, Donnie Vasquez's retracted statement, and how Sheriff Harold Kemp ordered search halt, then transferred him. "I kept evidence, knowing someday someone would ask," he said, opening the old safe. Inside, yellowed radio log and 4 railing photos, angles nearly identical to the anonymous one. Elena looked, heart racing. "Who do you think sent the photo?" Delgado shook head. "Don't know. Maybe someone who was there. Maybe someone who saw, or still watching." They sat silent. Outside, desert wind swept windows, stirring fine dust. Delgado lit a cigarette, inhaled deep. "If you really want to reopen this, only one can," new Sheriff Aaron Pike. "He's fair, owes no one." A week later, they went together to Sheriff Pike's office in Socorro. Pike, about 40, sturdy build, cautious eyes. He heard Elena recount everything, then stared at the anonymous photo long. "I've heard of the Moreno case," he said, "but old files sealed. If new evidence, I can request reopen." He looked to Delgado. "I need the 1981 original photo." Delgado nodded, placed before him the fingerprint-smudged envelope. Pike stood, walked to window overlooking desert horizon. 30 years. If someone's still caring enough to send a photo, they know something we don't. He turned back, voice firm. "We'll reopen the Moreno file. I want to know why the boot still remembers." As Elena and Delgado left the office, sun had set behind mountains. Far off, darkness flooded Elephant Butte Lake, where water would soon recede after history's longest drought. They didn't know the coming drought would make the 30-year buried secret surface again. Less than a month after that meeting, New Mexico entered its worst drought in nearly half a century. Sky like molten midday temps, over 110 degrees Fahrenheit, ground cracked in long winding scars down hillsides. In South Socorro County, Elephant Butte Reservoir, state's largest lake, began receding faster than ever. Federal Weather Service reported lake level down over 20 feet in 2 weeks, lowest since 1956. Rocks once deep underwater now exposed, dry cracked and black mossed. Muddy and rusty metal smell seeped into every wind gust. Locals said, the desert swallowing back what water hid. One early June morning, longtime fisherman Hector Luna rode to mid-lake to check nets. As water receded, old objects emerged, dead trees, concrete pillars, even abandoned boat frames, but this time, in thin fog, he saw a truck-sized metal mass, tilted under water less than 10 feet deep. Sun reflected off its rusted surface. Hector rode closer, poked with pole, sharp clang, solid metal, not rock. He returned to shore, reported to Socorro County Police. By noon, info reached Sheriff Aaron Pike. Hearing Hector described like an old station wagon, Pike immediately called Elena Cruz and Frank Delgado. All three met at South Dock, where lake had receded deep, to see firsthand. Hector pointed, right there below Horseshoe Rock outcrop. I swear to God it wasn't there last year. Pike observed through binoculars, beneath brown murky water, faintly a long angular mass, pale gray glint. He was silent a moment, then said, we need confirmation. Next day, Pike called Dive Rescue 7 from Albuquerque, a civilian team specializing in underwater search with modern gear. They brought high-frequency sonar and ROV remote vehicle, used in sunken car recoveries. Sky fire hot, but lakeshore area cordoned. Curious locals gathered afar, eyeing equipment crates, cables, 2 motorboats launching. Dive Rescue Captain Chris Hawthorne lowered sonar into water. On laptop black and white screen, sound waves formed, nearly 6-meter object mass, frame structure, wheels, curved roof, exact proportions of a Ford Country Squire. Everyone stood still watching display. Delgado felt heart constrict. For 30 years, he'd waited this moment, and now it showed clear before eyes. Elena, Pike said softly, did you bring the old photo? She nodded, opened bag, handed the anonymous rusted railing shot. Pike placed it beside sonar screen. On GPS map, metal mass lay exactly under that railing section. No one spoke seconds, only steady engine rumble and wind over dry lake bed. Pike gripped hat strap, turned to Hawthorne. Deploy ROV. I want live images. ROV lowered by cable, LED lights piercing murky brown water gloom. As camera neared, object details sharpened. Car frame, rusted wheels, broken glass, dented roof. Hawthorne whispered over radio. It's a car, Sheriff, and looks like it's been here a long time. Pike stood silent. Scene froze shore air. Delgado turned away, eyes blurring. Elena, holding anonymous photo, whispered. The Butte still remembers. As ROV scanned another loop around car, camera caught something gleaming at rear door. A rectangular metal pen, algae covered, but reflection enough to recognize license plate. Numbers faint, only last 2 readable. 94. Delgado gasped, voice choked. That's their car. Moreno family plate ends 7X, 294. Pike gripped his shoulder, no rushing conclusions, but, I believe you're right. He scanned rocky lake bed, then said firmly, we'll salvage it. Tonight, Elephant Butte won't be silent anymore. As sun set behind ridges, last red rays hit receding water, reflecting off faint car frame at bottom. After 31 years, the buried finally rose from darkness. Early next morning, Elephant Butte Lake still eerily still, like holding breath waiting. Sky tinged faint red of New Mexico desert, thin mist over water. But hours away, this spot would become Socorro County's biggest scene in 3 decades. Sheriff Aaron Pike arrived at 5 a.m. He stood on shore, paper coffee cup in hand, watching Dive Rescue 7 lower gear into water. Motorboat engines mixed with clanking metal. Dry wind blew, carrying muddy and rusty iron smell. Far off, dozens curious locals gathered behind barriers, eyes mix of curiosity and fear. Everyone heard. The 1981 missing car found. Pike nodded to Captain Chris Hawthorne. Start. We do this carefully, he said. Steel cable attached to underwater car frame. From shore, local construction units' crane slowly tightened, heavy creaking. Under sonar screen, metal mass began lifting from bottom. Water bubbled. Mud erupted like smoke. Distant crowd held breath. After 10 minutes, the first rusted roof portion emerged above the water, sunlight reflecting through algae and mud. When the entire body surfaced, everyone fell silent. The Ford country squire, or what remained of it, lay tilted, roof dented, doors broken, glass shattered, cream paint only spotty on the rusted steel frame. Pike approached. He bent down, looked at the rear license plate, mud-covered part, but the characters were still clear. 7X, 294. He gripped his hat strapped tight. It's it, he said softly. The Moreno family. The forensics team quickly cordoned the salvage area with tarps. They hosed off mud, iron pieces emerging under sunlight. Damp metal and algae smell wafted thickly. Hawthorne pointed to the driver's side door frame. Sheriff, look here, on the rusted steel. A round hole pierced from outside in, edges blackened scorch. Under cracked glass, old leather seat frame also holed, scorch spreading around. Hawthorne whispered, not an accident. Bullet hole, .38 caliber. Pike froze. Photograph it, mark it. He looked into the cabin, thick mud dust, seatbelts intact, gear shift in drive. In the back seat, a headless doll, faded old plastic, and a small toy car upside down in mud. Under the floor, technician pulled a rotted woman's leather handbag. Inside a medical ID, Teresa Moreno, Socorro Community Clinic. Elena Cruz stood silent behind the barrier, eyes red-rimmed. It was the only thing left of her family the world still held. Moments later, forensics reported, no bodies in the vehicle. They'd checked all seats, trunk, undercarriage, empty. No bones, no fabric scraps, no DNA, except dried blood smears on the door. News spread like wind. One local cried, another whispered, they're still in the lake. Pike silently gazed at the water. He felt something deeper than sorrow, a question without answer. He signaled Hawthorne to redeploy ROV around the car site. Screen showed murky images, rocks and sand masses. ROV panned right, detected metal scraps in mud, hood cap and bumper part. As camera neared, a smaller object shadow appeared below, darker shade. Hawthorne frowned. There might be another object here, Sheriff. Same size, but deeper, about 3 meters. Pike eyed the screen, lips pursed. Hold position, remark coordinates. Will return. As the car reached shore, technicians washed clean, sampled evidence. Each water spray sounded like a knife, tearing silence. Warched away, revealing clearer traces. Driver's door edge scratched vertically, front frame dented inward, showing external impact force. If just accident, a technician whispered. Car should slide at angle, not hit straight. Delgado, who'd witnessed a lifetime wait, stood beside Elena. He said softly, voice trembling, I told you. It wasn't an accident. Pike nodded, eyes fixed on bullet hole. No, not accident. This is murder. As sun rose high, forensics packed evidence. Handbag, doll, toy car, paint samples, metal around bullet. Ford loaded on trailer, sealed tarp, hauled to Santa Fe lab. Area cordoned 2 more days for sweep, but no bodies found. Evening, news spread statewide. Moreno family missing vehicle salvaged after 31 years under Elephant Butte Lake. No bodies found in vehicle. Elena returned to her lodging, sat at desk, reopened anonymous photo. She placed it beside morning paper with rusted car pull-up image. 2 images eerily matched, same angle, scene, only difference now car surfaced, but people hadn't. Out there, lake closing gradually, small ripples reflecting faint moonlight. Desert wind blew through rusted railing again, clattering like breath of long memory. The car had surfaced after 31 years, but those inside, still not there. And that emptiness, colder than lake water, reminder. The Butte's secret far from over. 3 days after Ford Country Squire salvaged from Elephant Butte Reservoir, entire scene sealed and moved to New Mexico State Forensics Lab in Santa Fe. Desert heat still rose outside, but inside lab, air cold and silent enough to hear AC hum blend with steady pipette sounds. Sheriff Aaron Pike stood by main exam table, where rusted car wrapped in clear plastic. Forensics techs meticulously sampled paint, glass, fabric, dried mud. Opening driver's door, fluorescent lit a dark brown streak along seat frame, faint as old water shadow. Forensics specialist bent, UV light, streak glowed pale. Blood, she said firmly. Dried, but enough for testing. Sample cotton swabbed carefully, sealed in small vial labeled sample #14, driver side. Pike watched each move. He knew this could be first key reopening case. Meanwhile, another tech worked driver's door. Tweezers extracted small metal piece jammed between seat crevice and floor. Under magnification, shape clear deformed bullet, .38, special size. He looked up. Sheriff, seems standard police ammo used 70s, 80s. Room silent seconds. Pike nodded slightly, voice low. Noted. Check rifling, match county old armory. That evening, genetics lab received dried blood sample. Used mitochondrial DNA, only way analyze old blood. 4 days later, results to Pike's desk. DNA matches 99.94% reference from Rosa Alvarez and Elena Cruz, blood relatives of Teresa Moreno. Pike read each word slow. Chill ran spine. Blood speck in car, after 31 years, finally named. Teresa Moreno, woman vanished with husband and 2 kids, summer night 1981, had been in that car. Next morning, Pike called emergency meet with state investigators. Forensics report detailed evidence 01, dried blood sample. DNA confirms Teresa Moreno. Evidence 02, 38 special bullet, close range fired. Evidence 03, vehicle frame shows external impact force, incompatible with water slide accident. Evidence 04, handbag and children's toys, confirms family identity. No bodies, no human bones, no soft tissue, but all remaining screamed one thing, not accident. Young officer asked, Sheriff, possible they escaped and died elsewhere. Pike replied curt, no blood on driver's seat. Someone wounded or shot before car hit water. Pointed bullet hole photo. Direction from outside in. Someone outside and fired. That afternoon, Pike signed to state prosecutor's office, based on forensic evidence recovered from vehicle 7X, 294, cause of event reclassified from presumed accident to homicide. News leaked next day. Local papers headlined, 1981 missing family possible murder victims. Elena Cruz read in newsroom. Silent long, hand on old Teresa photo. Finally, phoned Delgado. They confirmed DNA. My aunt was in car. They didn't die accident. Other end, Delgado softly. I knew from day I saw that paint streak. That evening, Pike alone at Lake Dock, eyed water now 10 meters below early year mark. Dark thick water, faint moon reflect. Pulled anonymous photo from pocket. The Butte still remembers. Now understood, Lake truly remembered. Humans tried forget. Folded photo, pocketed, whispered like vow. From now no longer disappearance, murder, and I'll find who buried them lake bottom. June 18, 2012, old file case hash, 81, 174, reopened with new note. Classification, homicide, Moreno family. 31 years later, Desert Heart dormant case, officially revived. And first time, justice took shape. News Moreno case, reclassified homicide spread fast, but for Frank Delgado, not start, end of circle waited 30 years. Hearing Sheriff Aaron Pike officially reopened file, stunned silent. Mind flashed old roll paper, ink-smeared edges, in safe kept since 1981. June 24th radio log. 2 days later, drove old pickup over 100 miles to Socorro HQ. Pike met on steps, hand out, heard you have something we need. Delgado nodded, placed thick yellowed sealed brown tape envelope on office desk. Pike carefully opened. Inside, thin carbon paper stack, faded black ink, logged radio transmissions night. Moreno's vanished. Top corner title, June 24, 1981. Dispatch channel log, Socorro County Sheriff's Office. Pike scanned first lines 2132, Unit 9, routine patrol, eastbound, no incident. 2147, Unit 3, report, lights off at rest area, negative activity. 2206, Unit 12, pursuit northbound, suspect wagon. Right after, log abruptly ended. No response, no pursuit end report, no shift close. Page bottom crossed blank, then end of record. Pike reread, Unit 12, pursuit northbound, suspect wagon, 3 times. Asked Unit 12, whose car, remember? Delgado eyed straight, Sheriff Harold Kemp's. Only one used that code. Moment. Room silent enough hear AC. Pike leaned back, hands clasped. Need sure original, said. Delgado nodded. Copy I made that night, before file lock. Original in file altered. This part vanished. Pike frowned. Altered. Delgado pulled another photo from pocket. Clearer ink. Old office seal. June 24th. Night duty log. Verified by Sheriff H. Kemp. But there. Unit 12. Pursuit northbound replaced to Unit 12. Routine check. Elephant Butte. Pike held both. Laid parallel on desk. Light angled through thin paper. At Unit 12, handwriting slanted left. Not typewriter. Someone overwrote by hand. Black ink pen. On old typed line. Looked closer. Ink start stroke trembled. Like left-hander script. Pike asked. Kemp left-handed. Delgado instant. Left. State Santa Fe Handwriting Lab summoned that afternoon. UV scanned 2 ink layers. Concluded. Overwritten script matches pressure stroke in style, with Sheriff Harold Kemp's verified signature samples from 1981 original file. In other words, Kemp personally altered disappearance, night radio log. Pike read conclusion. Stomach knotted. Suspected, but now clear chilling. Delgado opposite, face tense but eerily calm. Always knew he there, said, couldn't prove. Every time tried speak, someone told forget. Pike stood, paced desk, eyed wall large photo, Elephant Butte Lake 1980. Water full to railing edge. If Kemp really there pursuing, means he last saw Moreno family alive. Delgado nodded slow, and only one could make them vanish no trace. Pike folded log stack, bagged evidence, sending straight state prosecutor. Proof he had seen that night. Paused, eyed Delgado. 30 years ago kept this. Why? Delgado faint smile, weary eyes. New Day Lake no water hide truth. That evening, Pike back office, alone with case file, flipped Kemp's old statement, claimed June 24th night, home with wife, 9 p.m. to midnight. Now, with radio log, alibi officially crumbled. Outside window, desert wind whistled, dried chiles hung porch. Pike tapped pen desk, steady beats. Wrote new report first line. Evidence indicates Sheriff Harold Kemp was present at Elephant Butte Reservoir on June 24, 1981, operating Unit 12 during an unreported pursuit of the Moreno family vehicle. Perioded paused pen. Before him, old photo the Butte still remembers silent. Now, not just Butte remembered, faded log script just voiced what 30 years all ignored. Sheriff Harold Kemp was there. Night Moreno family vanished. 2 days after radio log confirmed forged, Sheriff Aaron Pike launched full internal audit 1981 files. Knew if Harold Kemp altered docs, other traces, tangible, concrete, undeniable, and in investigation, nothing speaks louder than gun. Socorro County Police Archives in old building basement, damp paper and gun oil smell mingled. Iron file cabinets in long rows, many papers yellowed, edges curled time. Pike and Tech, Laura Kim opened Armory Records, 1979, 1985 cabinet. Flipped inventory logs, stopped at July 15, 1981 entry, 3 weeks post Moreno vanish. Line 17, bold, HK, 9, revolver .38 special, missing. Beside, handwritten, unaccounted, check pending. Below 1983 inventory, HK, 9, recovered, verified by Sheriff H. Kemp. Pike reread times, brow furrowed deep, gun missing 1981. Kemp personally verified recovered 2 years later, said voice even cold. Laura flipped next, pointed right corner. Look, his signature here, left slant, matches radio log script. Pike carefully copied, sent immediate to Albuquerque Enabin Firearms Lab for barrel match potential. Evidence from Ford Country Squire, .38 special deformed bullet, sealed, labeled, Moreno case. Sample #02. As evidence box left Socorro in armored van, Pike watched long, knew if bullet matched HK, 9 barrel, all accident theories vanish completely. 3 days later, results sealed Enabin embossed envelope to Pike. Opened, hand slight tremble, despite calm. Report clear. The projectile recovered from the driver's side door of vehicle 7x294 exhibits rifling characteristics consistent with .38 special revolver, serial HK. 9. Registered to Socorro County Sheriff's Office in 1978. Probability of match, 100%. Pike finished, eyed wall, Elephant Butte Lake map hung since file reopen. So it, whispered. Sheriff Kemp's own gun killed them. Called Elena and Delgado to office. Delgado, now frail-aged, sat, eyes fire-bright. Pike placed report before. Elena read, arms trembled. 38 special, his. Yes. Pike nodded. HK, 9. Missing inventory days after vanish. 2 years later, Kemp signed recovered himself, but file no how, where or who returned. Delgado chuckled softly, the laugh broken by anger. He didn't recover it. He kept it. Hid it. Pike leaned on the desk, voice lowering, and used it to end the pursuit that night. He ordered Laura to scour Kemp's personal permit records throughout his tenure. An hour later, she brought a list of all guns registered under his name, no serial HK. 9. Meaning, from 1983, that gun never recorded again. Pike sighed, leaned back in chair. 30 years, murder weapon lay quiet under file dust. He said softly, as if to himself. Elena silent, eyes on her aunt. Teresa, photo on desk. Mr. Kemp seen as hero all those years, she said, voice choked. Who'll believe it was him? People believe with evidence, Pike interrupted. And now we have bullet, altered radio log, and gun recovered unknown origin. He signed new document to state prosecutor. Request warrant for search of property owned by Harold Kemp. Probable cause. Concealment of homicide evidence. As red stamp thudded, sound dry crack, like beat for truth just surfaced from lake. That evening, Pike returned to Elephant Butte Lake. Sky cooled, but water still lower than normal. He stood by rusted steel railing, exact spot old paint streak. Delgado photographed. In coat pocket, examined bullet, heavy as carrying past. Night wind blew, bone-chilling. Pike gazed down black water, said softly, "We found your gun, Harold. Now just waiting for you." Somewhere out there, in darkness. Old farmhouse where Sheriff Kemp lived, reclusively over 2 decades, townfolk reverently called Justice Keeper. Pike knew, tomorrow, he'd knock that door and true justice begin reclaim. The 38 special, HK9, missing 1981, found in files of very man-led investigation. Bullet in Moreno car perfect match. No doubt, murder weapon spoke, named Harold Kemp. September 2012, New Mexico skies milder, but air around Socorro County Police HQ, thick tense. After forensics report and bullet match confirmed, Sheriff Aaron Pike knew, time act. Search warrant signed by Judge Raymond Lopez, content clear, search of residents and properties owned by Harold J. Kemp, suspected possession or concealment of homicide evidence. Moreno case, 1981. Morning September 12th, sun not yet over mountains, County police convoy quietly advanced to Hatch suburbs, where Kemp lived reclusively 2 decades. His farm, isolated amid red dirt, surrounded rotting wood fence. Gate sign still, Kemp Ranch, Eston 1990. As convoy stopped, old dog barked weakly, then ran backyard. Pike signaled forensics prep. He approached front door, knocked 3. No answer. After reading warrant, broke lock. Wood door swung, dust and old tobacco smell spilled out. Small house, neat, orderly to cold. Living room wall hung old photos. Kemp in police uniform, shaking local officials' hands, receiving outstanding service plaque. Center large photo him standing by Teresa Moreno at 1979 community fundraiser. She smiled, eyes to lens. Kemp uniform crisp, looked at her not camera. Pike stared long. Take it down, he said. In study, investigators opened drawers, bookshelf thick documents, mostly old papers and faded police files. Bottom drawer, tech called, sheriff. This here. Pulled old police radio, steel green casing, side engraved, Unit 12. Pike bent, gloved hands, flipped back. Serial matched 1981 equipment record, radio from very car Kemp used. Deep breath. Evidence it. Mark sample hash 45, said voice hoarse. Continued bedroom search. Under bed, small wood box. Pike found yellowed photo stack. One shot Teresa Moreno before husband's shop, gentle smile, holding wildflowers. Back handwritten, June, my favorite smile. Left slant script, exact Kemp's. My God, Pike whispered. Handed photo to Elena, allowed join as family rep. She looked, tears fell. Aunt Teresa never said anyone photographed her alone. He loved her. Pike nodded slow, or what he called love. In corner iron cabinet, forensics cracked lock, found rusty old keychain. Ring attached small aluminum plate engraved, Ford Country Squire, 7x294. Room plunged silence. All eyes on keys in Tech's hand. Pike gloved, lifted under light, unmistakable. Moreno family car keys. But biggest find hid in black leather notebook behind bookshelf. Pike opened, yellowed pages, dense handwriting, sporadic work notes, old case jots. Until near end page, single line, bold black ink. They fought, I ended it. The butte is deep. Room froze. Delgado, near door, hissed teeth. My God, he confessed. Pike eyed line again, finger traced rough paper. No question mark, no excuse, just cold confirmation. Closed eyes, deep breath. Package notebook. Sample hash 46. Treat as handwritten confession. Leaving house. Afternoon sun poured harsh gold. Pike stepped porch, glanced living room where Teresa photo hung. New, with finds. Unit 12 radio, car keys, private photo, notebook, murder motive. Clear, not robbery. Not accident. Crime of jealousy, hidden 31 years by very man tasked protect justice. As vehicles left farm, Elena turned through window, shadow fell old roof. Whispered, choked. Aunt Teresa said, lake has soul, maybe it still remembers. Pike no reply, just gazed horizon blending red sand. Mind, notebook line repeated. Rhythmic as waves, lapping shore. They fought. I ended it. The butte is deep. First time, understood. Deep lake, Kemp wrote, not just water, but human heart. News Kemp house search spread fast statewide New Mexico. Media called most notable cold case reversal in 30 years. But for Sheriff Aaron Pike, just beginning. Physical evidence had gun, keys, notebook, needed living account, witness confirm what happened night, June 24, 1981. Week after search warrant announced, Pike got call from El Paso, Texas. Man's voice trembled line, named Donnie Vasquez, worked Socorro gas station 1981. Why, need talk you. Can't stay silent anymore. Pike, arranged meet immediate. 2 days later, sheriff's office, Vasquez appeared, hair gray, thin frame, deep sunk eyes. Held old baseball cap, twisting non-stop. Mr. Pike, said voice choked. I lied. 30 years ago, when Frank Delgado asked, I said, saw dark green police car follow Ford Country Squire. Next day, Sheriff Kemp came, said, Donnie, you don't want trouble. Say you don't remember. Scared. Young, just station clerk. Withdrew, haunted since. Pike nodded slight, voice low. Still remember. That night clear. Clear as yesterday, Vasquez said, eyes down table. Came near 10. Man. Miguel, asked Damrout. Family laughing. Kids bought candy, Teresa water. Left, cream Ford turned north. Minutes later, police car passed. No siren, just bright headlights. Saw Sheriff Socorro County's faint on door. Followed them. Kept 30 years, but every sleep dream those lights, now, seeing Kemp investigated, knew must speak. Pike leaned forward. Thank you, Donnie. Testimony gives family justice. Shock not stopped. 2 days later, another man to sheriff's office, James Porter, 74, retired engineer. Worked 1981 Elephant Butte Dam railing repair project. Reading news, called. Think saw that night. Stood West Dam, checking materials. Around 10 past, heard engine roar. Turned, saw 2 headlight beams, parallel. One white bright, one yellower, old cop car style. Then, both vanished off railing. Thought eyes tricked, but next morning, saw light paint streak on steel railing. Reported maintenance, no one cared. Pike asked, notes? Porter nodded. Opened old notebook. Pulled blurry Polaroid dam, night distant. Poor quality, but clear. 2 parallel light streaks mid-frame, ground seconds before vanish. Photo stamped, June 24, 1981, 10:08 p.m. Enlarged, image expert confirmed. 2 beams position exact coordinates, Delgado's, 1981 paint streak. Height angle showed 2 vehicles left road, same direction into lake. Meeting room silent projector image, Delgado, now honorary consultant, nodded slight, eyes red. That night, right. 2 cars, not just fell, chased. Pike gripped file stack. Final pieces fit 9:45 p.m. Moreno family left station, 10 p.m. Unit 12 reported, pursuit northbound, suspect wagon, 10:08 p.m. 2 beams vanished dam. After total radio silence, all matched. Elena Cruz corner room, eyed blurry Polaroid. So chased them, shot car, both plunged lake, whispered. Kemp lost control too? Pike nodded, voice low, likely. Maybe meant stop, but Miguel resisted, fired. Both cars down, but only one salvaged, his perhaps quietly pulled later. Delgado added, or escaped before sank. With radio power, erased traces. Pike nodded, eyes hardened. Either way, Donnie Porter gave what 30 years lacked. Witnesses saw moment. Evening all left. Pike sat room, eyed 2 parallel streaks photo. Outside, rain started, first post-drought. Water pattered roof, mixed wind. Whispered, to Souls Lake held 3 decades. Now no. 2 cars plunged together. Only one reached shore. Outside glass, lightning flashed. White glare like 2 headlights into dark. 31 years later, final witnesses returned. Elephant Butte Lake silence finally spoke. November 2, 2012, Santa Fe Grand Jury, formally approved arrest warrant, Harold J. Kemp, former Socorro County Sheriff, 3 counts, first-degree murder, evidence tampering, obstructing federal investigation. As red stamp hit indictment, courtroom dead silent. 31 years silence, and truth-shaped ink, black on white paper. That morning, hatch sky overcast, desert fog, mixed red dust. 6 unmarked police cars, no sirens, just flashing blue, slow to road Kemp Ranch. Sheriff Aaron Pike front seat, eyes cold resolute. Beside, Elena Cruz, allowed witness as victim family rep. Sure he's there? She asked, voice hoarse. Pike nodded. Sure. Nose day coming. Convoy gate. Wind whipped dust dry leaves. Kemp's old dog barked few, then hid kennel. Front door ajar. Man once called, Socorro hero. Threshold. Thick shirt, silver hair, deep eyes. Eyed police, then Pike straight, faint smile. "Hello, Aaron," said Slow. "Knew you'd come." Pike, no reply. "Read arrest," voice even firm. Harold James Kemp. Arrested first-degree murder, Teresa Moreno, and accomplice deaths. Miguel Moreno, Ana Moreno, Luis Moreno. Wright remained silent. Wright attorney. Two officers stepped, cuffed behind. Kemp no resist, just head up, stared void ahead. "Media lenses turned," said one. Voice deep desert last breath. 30 years, thought forgotten. No reply, only dry handcuff click echoed empty space. As Kemp transport left farm, Pike mirror glanced. Man sat still, eyes forward, no bow, no remorse. Elena beside, gripped hands, choked. He, really feel nothing. Pike softly. People feel nothing when think right. Santa Fe HQ, Kemp interrogation room. Across table Pike, prosecutor Linda Moreno, Miguel distant cousin, and two state investigators. Harsh fluorescent lit, aged but firm face. Pike opened "Found your gun, Harold." HK9, bullet perfect match, Teresa car door. Altered radio log, notebook confession, witnesses saw chase. Anything say? Kemp silent long. Then wry smile, dry as rust metal. No need say, no job long Aaron. Sometimes, justice not what law writes. Pike clenched fist. Mean what? Kemp head up, eyes cloudy but steel. Miguel knew me Teresa. Came station, threatened tell all. Drove family, I just stop, talk, but hit me. Fired, car lost control. Me I didn't plan live, but fate pulled water. Woke, only silence. Room thickened, Pike eyed, voice lowered. Chose silence, 30 years, buried them, fixed log, faked files, lied state. Kemp closed eyes, don't understand, loved her. Teresa, just wanted keep, but Butte, took all. Elena observed outside, tears welled, turned away hearing Teresa name. Voice soft, twisted confession. That afternoon, brief presser, Pike confirmed. Harold Kemp, former Socorro County Sheriff, has been arrested and indicted with irrefutable evidence related to the 1981 murder of the Moreno family. He admitted being at the scene, firing into the victim's vehicle, and concealing evidence for 3 decades. The bulletin spread across America. Images of Kemp escorted, silver hair, handcuffs gleaming in afternoon sun, appeared on every TV channel. Truth or consequences, townsfolk fell silent. The former hero turned murderer. That evening, in Santa Fe jail cell, Kemp sat alone. Small window cast silver moonlight on cold tile floor. He leaned head against wall, eyes closed. As guard passed, heard him mutter, "The Butte is deep, deeper than forgiveness." And somewhere out there, Elephant Butte Lake lay still, reflecting starry sky, like listening to final words of man who sowed secret lake bottom, waited 30 years to be pulled to light. Harold J. Kemp arrested, and justice, though late, finally knocked. Interrogation room 2, at Santa Fe Police Department, thick with tension. Harsh white fluorescent lit cold metal table, reflecting aged but sharp face of Harold J. Kemp. 8 a.m. Official questioning began. Sheriff Aaron Pike, with prosecutor Linda Moreno, Miguel's distant relative, sat opposite. Before them, over 200-page file stack, marked countless color tabs, radio log, notebook, crime scene photos, ballistics reports. Table center, recorder red light on. Pike opened, calm but heavy voice. June 24, 1981, you drove patrol. Unit 12, pursued Moreno family Ford Country Squire. Confirm? Kemp eyed him, pale blue eyes deep calm as desert. No reply. Only fee hum and room, Pike continued. We have physical evidence. .38. Special bullet from HK, 9 department gun, under your charge. Teresa Moreno DNA in car, your notebook. They fought. I ended it. The Butte is deep. Care explain? Kemp lip curled, faint smile. Read too much, Aaron. Taught you papers just paper. Truth sometimes in white spaces. Linda Moreno interrupted. Mr. Kemp, not here for philosophy. 31 years ago, fired, killed innocent family, altered files, buried evidence. Anything say to dead children? Silent, eyes fixed table. Time dragged slow. Each minute stretched endless. After 5 hours, Kemp said nothing, just sat, back straight, thin dry hands clasped. Pike switched questioners, tactics, even off recorder break silence. Wall but stone statue still, clock 1:47 p.m. Pike stood, end session, then Kemp spoke soft, hoarse, near whisper. They argued. Room froze. Pike turned, sat, signaled recorder on. Kemp continued, slow, they stopped near dam. Followed, just talker, Miguel out, angry. Said stay away family. Teresa cried. Tried calm, he pushed. Gun went off. Paused, swallowed. Didn't mean shoot, just scare. But, heard bang. Car lost control, slid railing. Remember headlights plunging lake, water exploding. Linda leaned, accidental discharge? Want believe seasoned cop like you, gun go off, facing victim? Kemp, no reply. Pike straight. Then what? Nothing. Looked up, empty eyes. Went lake, tried find. Murky, cold, deep water. Swam back, near drowned. Woke, knew no one find. Let be. Pike, gritted teeth. Altered radio log, lied statement. Signed HK, 9 recovered cover. All for accident. Kemp turned slow. Never loved anyone want world silent. Keep them, huh, Aaron? Question, chilled Pike's spine. Kemp voice light wind, hid deep shadow. Linda sharp, Mr. Kemp, bodies where? Wrote the butte is deep. Mean what? Kemp head up, eyes glint half mad half serene. Think, tell, don't understand butte. Not just water. Memory, sin, where all sinks never resurfaces. Specific location. Pike, calm, through where? Kemp faint laugh. Been there Aaron, old paint spot, rusted railing stood gaze down. Just not looked deep enough, leaned back, cloudy eyes through wall. The butte, deep, deeper think. Pike, clenched fist, understood, not wordplay, clue, metaphor, coordinate. Deep, deep bottom lake, or sinkhole, mid Elephant Butte, sonar missed. Questioning 3 more hours, asked location, direction. Post-lake actions, repeated. Ended, butte holds rest. End, dark. Pike off recorder, sat silent. Linda packed files, eyes off man. Guard entered. Kemp stood, cuffed, ceiling light, carved wrinkles. Before leave, turned Pike. No need search. Water took. But want see, wait, lake thirst. Door slammed. Room silence. Pike sat long. Mind looped. The butte is deep. Pulled lake, geologic map, pointed south. Deepest, natural sinkhole. Old channel. As Kemp said, old paint spot, rusted railing, above sink. Leaving HQ, Santa Fe night, biting cold. Pike looked south. Faint moon through clouds, toward Elephant Butte Reservoir. Knew, Kemp silent. Lake held answer. And go deepest butte, where justice buried with Moreno souls. 2 days, first interrogation. Sheriff Aaron Pike reopened questioning. Not just hear words, force Harold Kemp face buried. New Kemp type, not easy verbal confess. Truth break, if confront own evidence. Room prepped careful. Table, Pike arranged evidence chronological. Rusted railing cream streak photo. Original radio log. Unit 12, pursuit northbound. Suspect wagon. .38, special HK. 9, Ford Keys 7X. 294, notebook. They fought. I ended it. The butte is deep. Polaroid engineer James Porter. 2 headlights off dam night, June 24, 1981. Kemp led in. Lights glared. Reflected silver cuffs. Sat. Glanced table. Lips pursed. Pike, no speak immediate. On recorder. Spotlight evidence. Recognize these? Pike low even. Kemp scanned. Paused first photo. That railing. Soft stood there. Pike nodded. June 24th night, with Moreno family car, and yours. Slid photo aside, revealed radio log. This line, Unit 12, pursuit northbound, suspect wagon. Pre-alter original, overwritten signature, yours. Lab 100% match notebook script. Explain rewriting file. Kemp eyes closed second, heavy exhale. Feared, taught others honest, but I irreparable mistake. Feared. What? Pike pressed. Lose job? Or people know love Teresa Moreno? Question opened Kemp eyes. Aged eyes cracked. Didn't kill love. Just keep. Miguel didn't understand. Pike leaned, pushed HK, 9. Your gun, Harold. Car door bullet perfect match. Not discharges. Shot. Room thickened. Kemp bowed head. Hands slight tremble. Eyed plastic bag bullet. Gaze pulled past. Still remember sound hoarse. Woke sweat decades. Pike silent. Added Porter Polaroid. See 2 beams. 1 white, yellow. 2 cars off dam. 1 there's Ford. Other, Unit 12. Kemp looked up. Cloudy fear mixed. Found this photo where? Doesn't matter. Pike cold. Matters want recount aftermath. Left Lake how? Did what them? Kemp silent long. AC hum. Pen scratch. Only sounds. Then soft, near breath. Swam. Alive. They sank. But returned. Room tensed. Pike leaned. Eyes lit. Returned. Kemp nodded slow. Next morning. Foggy. Brought rope. Hooks. Found car. Near spot. No bodies. Current carried farther thought. Couldn't let surface. Pulled each shore South Lake sandy slump. Sink trench. Buried. Then water rose. Linda Moreno, prosecutor, near breathless. Exact location remember, Kemp, South Lake, which area? Nodded weak. Water recede. See horseshoe rock mound. Broken iron post jut. Under, placed. Thought water, keep secret forever. Pike eyed long. Distinguish regret cold. Want believe fear, or guilt. Kemp weary. No, Aaron, loved. Seeing no breathe. Just hide world killed us both. Room silence. Linda signaled Pike. Stop recorder. But Pike eyed Kemp. Final question. What want do this info, Harold? Kemp up. Cloudy serene odd. Take there. See lake last. Show spot. Boot held too long. Pike silent long. Slight nod. Lead there promise. Bring home. Kemp faint smile. Burden lifted. Thanks sheriff. Finally Boot speaks. Kemp let out. Pike-eyed table evidence row. Each piece fateful night memory. Now pieced road. To Elephant Butte deepest. Where justice waited pull water surface. Morning October 10th, 2012. Sun rose. Oregon mountains. Cold light blanketed New Mexico desert turning fall. Early winds swept Elephant Butte Reservoir. Stirred dry dust cracked mud. Water lowest over 50 years. 2/3 original. Exposed gray rocks dry bed once deep submerged. Long official forensic vehicles parked south embankment. First vehicle, Sheriff Aaron Pike, faced Harold J. Kemp, once Socorro police legend. Now old man. Cuffed, wrist tremble, eyes deep cold. Know today why. Pike slow expressionless. Kemp slight nod, said Aaron. Boot held too long. Time return. Vehicles stopped lake edge. Dive rescue. 7 state forensics waited. Digging tools. Sampling gear. Wind whistled rusted rails. Shrill forgotten soul's breath. Kemp stepped. Feet sank dry mud. Police uncuffed. Flanked. But raised hands. Soft. No need show way. Walked slow. Step. Along. Rock embankment. Each stirred fine dust mist. Followers gravel crunch only. Pike close behind. Eyes fixed. Reached horseshoe rock outcrop per interrogation. Kemp stopped. Pointed right. Broken iron post skewed mud. Half rusted red. There, soft. Right under rocks. Buried 12 feet deep. Water covered rest. Forensics cordoned. Marked tape. Tech Laura Kim led surveying. GPS coords. Lake map notes. Small excavator maneuvered. Scraped surface mud. Each bucket hit ground. Pike heart pounded. Like digging town past. Near 2 hours. 10 feet depth. Tech shouted. Something here. All halted. Switched small tools brushes. Under damp clay. Long bone emerged. Ivory sunlight. Tech wiped gentle soft. Adult femur. Kemp few meters. Eyes shut. Miguel whispered. Lies there. Digging. Smaller skeleton appeared beside. Arms south. Then 2 child skeletons overlapped. Scene stunned. No words. Wind howled. Dry lake bed. Elena Cruz, Teresa cousin, allowed family. Sobbed. Kneeled. hands, mouth. Pike approached. Light shoulder. Come home, horse. Forensics expanded dig. Beside remains, small rusted revolver, faint Socorro Company reserve engraving. Kemp's claimed lost 1981 backup. Mud held broken glass, brass button, M. Miguel Moreno initials. Artifacts lifted. Kemp knelt quiet, hands shake. Eyed 4 white-draped body bags aligned. They're all time, voice broke. Thought, water keep peace. No, waited this day. Pike, no answer. Aid, scene, Justice Rep knelt mud, own victims. Contrast anger pity. Laura Kim near, reported. Confirmed 4 skeletons, 2 adults, 2 children. Same pit, shallow bury, no coffin. Likely early morning pre-rise. Pike nodded, eyes Kemp. Note. Suspect Harold J. Kemp identified dig site, confirmed victims. Kemp sighed, no deny. Want no bury how. Pike, silent, nodded. Kemp slow, each word, hoarse emotion. Return next morning, foggy. Still there, drifted shore. Teresa head wound, likely instant. Kids hugged, couldn't let drift. Wild animals, strangers see. Used trunk shovel, dug here, thought under rocks, rise cover forever. Head up, eyed lake, water gray sky reflect. But water forgets not, always returns. Elena rose, tears cheek streaked. Said loved aunt, love doesn't kill. Kemp bowed head, silent. Afternoon, body bags forensics van, New Mexico flag draped. Investigators collected all backup gun, glass, button, mud fabric scraps, all evidenced. Pike signed dig in 1642. Stood edge, watched sunset, dim red rippled water. Over soft. 31 years, now return. Kemp, escorted to vehicle, turned back for final lake glance. The butte is deep, he whispered, but not deep enough to hide guilt. Pike watched, no reply. Knew those words no longer excuses, final admission of soul drained dry. 3 days later, Santa Fe forensics confirmed, DNA 4 skeletons, 100% match. Moreno family genetic profiles, evening bulletin opened. All bodies from 1981 Elephant Butte disappearance found. Harold J. Kemp case, officially closed. Elena present as remains transport left, placed wildflower bunch on vehicle, kind Teresa loved most. In salty dry desert wind, lake water dust mingled. Far shore, sunset, last light reflected shallow water, like candle lit, for those slept 30 years, and those finally spoke truth. All bodies found, Moreno case closed after 31 years. But witnesses' hearts, especially Aaron Pike's, Elephant Butte, never lake again. Silent justice graveyard. 2 days after 4 bodies found south, Elephant Butte shore, Harold J. Kemp returned Santa Fe Detention Center final interrogation. No mind games, no silence walls. This time, ex-sheriff badge, come confess. Small room just Pike, prosecutor, Linda Moreno, recorder. Heavy air, disinfectant mixed cold iron handcuff smell. Kemp slumped, silver hair forehead, hands clasped, knuckles tremble. Ready? Pike soft. Kemp head up, deep sunk eyes, no former power arrogance. 31 years, slow, lived that story daily. Tired, today tell all. Pike nodded, recorder red light on. Start Harold. Kemp deep breath, hoarse thick. 1978, met Teresa Community Clinic fundraiser. She head nurse, I deputy sheriff then. Kind, smart, listening eyes. Miguel husband, there, cold. I saw lonely. Talked, grew closer. Head straight Pike, lasted near 3 years. Teresa wouldn't leave family, understood, no push. But spring 1981, Miguel suspected. Followed, once, office, through photos desk, me Teresa patrol car. Threatened tell town, begged secret, laughed, Sheriff Kemp, Socorro hero, sleeps other's wife, just man. Kemp paused, voice broke. Lost control, pushed, punched, but someone entered. Left, thought over, no. Stopped, long breath, eyes sunk. June 24th evening HQ. Radio Moreno family, left town, north. New Albuquerque via Elephant Butte Dam. Drove follow. Mind talk. Explain. Brought HK9. Department gun. Habit. Socorro station. Saw fueling. Lights off. Waited. Followed. Voice hoarse trembled. Dam. Stopped roadside. Near railing. Parked behind. Miguel front. Yelled face. Teresa down told go. Said just talk. Pushed again. Drew gun. Lunged. Gun discharged. Bang. Miguel fell. Head hit door. Teresa screamed. Ran. Panicked. No reason. Wanted quiet. No scream. I shot 2 more. Room dead silent. Pike table gazed. Avoided Linda's red eyes. Kemp continued. Choked. Back kid screamed mom. Turned. No thought. I shot. Didn't want witness. Silence. Wind gunpowder smell. Hands face covered. Sobs. Stood long. Heard heartbeat. Thought over. Dragged Miguel out. Put car. Backed. Accelerated. Ford slid railing. Saw headlights sink. Extinguish. Thought Waterbury forever. Linda clenched fists. Then what, Kemp? Returned HQ. Altered radio log. Wrote Unit 12. Routine check. Cleaned gun. Ditched bullet. Reported team home night. No suspicion. Head up. Empty voice. 2 days later. Search team dam. Stood exact spot. Remember Delgado. Eyes nearly confessed. Stayed silent. Altered armory. Recovered HK9. Actually, through lake that night. Pike soft. Next morning return. Why? Kemp nodded. Guilt. Leased bury proper. Rope. Pulled bodies shallows. Found kids hugged. Couldn't bear. Buried 4 trench. Rock covered. Told self-rest. Actually, cover. Head up. Cloudy. Honest eyes. Lived 31 more years. Daily heard water lap railing. Heard dreams. Teresa. Miguel. Kids. Tried believe Butte. Kept word. Forgot not. Pike slight nod. Voice low. Now tell all why. Kemp sad faint laugh. Finally understood justice no keeper. Waits long enough resurface. Just wrong guard. Linda opened forensics. Read loud. 4 skeletons. 2 adults. 2 children. DNA match. Moreno family. .38. Special bullet. HK9 barrel. Ford blood sample. Teresa Moreno. Backup gun burial pit matches department serial. All details perfect match testimony. Room silence. Only steady pen recorder. Kemp leaned back. Eyes closed. Done, whispered. 31 years. Killed family. Killed self-silence. Pike-eyed. No anger. Weary. Harold. Notebook. The Butte is deep. Now understand. Not lake. Your guilt. Kemp slight nod. Lips trembled. Right. Butte. Just guilt face. Now reflected all. Eyes shut. No tears. Silence man lived half-life bury crime. Half swallowed gradual. 2 weeks later. Official investigation report released. Summary. Ex-sheriff. Harold J. Kemp. Confessed premeditated murder. Jealousy motive. All evidence testimony. Perfect forensics match. Moreno family. Case #81174. Closed. Convicted. Local TV. Elena Cruz teary statement. Justice never vanishes. Takes time swim depths. Evening. Elephant Butte. Light wind peaceful water. No paint streak. No mud marks. Moonlit lake giant mirror. Pike railing. Hat off. Black water gaze. Mind echoed Kemp final. The Butte is deep, but remembers. Now Butte spoke. And justice, after 31 years, finally heard. December 2012. Winter winds. Santa Fe Plateau. Cold dry first snow metal scent. Santa Fe District Court gates. Rows silent waiters. Press crowded. Cameras big wood doors historic trial. Harold J. Kemp, ex-Socorro sheriff, once desert hero. Now defendant for first-degree murders. Evidence concealment. 31 years. Moreno night vanish. Justice courtroom no excuses. Morning December 14th. Trial opened. Judge Rebecca Hill presided. Prosecution. Linda Moreno. Case partner reopen. Defense state appointed. Gallery. 1 empty seat. Elena Cruz. Teresa cousin. Brought anonymous photo Pike. Reopened all. Kemp led. Cuffed. Slow steps. Head bowed. Orange jail shirt. White silver hair, gaunt face, no respected sheriff image. Past front row, glanced Elena. She turned away, tears streamed. Judge banged gavel, clear. Trial Harold James Kemp, defendant first-degree murders, evidence forgery, concealment, begins. Court silent. Linda podium, thick file. Voice steady, emotional. Your Honor, 31 years, 4. Teresa, Miguel, Ana Luis Moreno, erased New Mexico map. Unidentified accident. Man before court made true. Not mistake, intent, deceit, power. Evidence. Hand-altered radio log. Department .38 Special. HK9. Matches victim car bullet. Teresa Moreno. DNA driver seat. Defendant notebook. They fought. I ended it. The Butte is deep. Full crime confession himself. Today. Justice not late. Right time prove truth not drown. Each word knife silence slash. Linda placed blurry Polaroid evidence table. 2 parallel headlights, dam plunge. Gasps choked. Defense turn. Old lawyer rose. Low. Defendant no deny acts. Kemp confessed. But consider mental factors, circumstances. Acted panic. Lost control. Not hate. Lifetime justice protector. Lost self. Mercy plea. Helena jumped. Broken. Mercy. Kid shot car. Call mercy. Judge gavel. Order. But moment. Court knew. No mercy here. Afternoon prosecution played recorded confession. Tape voice hoarse. Shot Miguel. Then Teresa. Then kids. Pushed car water. Thought Butte keep forever. Court bowed heads. Reporters stopped notes. Helena mouth covered. Endless tears. Pike back row, fists clenched. Calm eyes. Heard tape dozens investigation. But justice venue, spine chilled. Tape end. Judge to defendant. Harold James Kemp. Anything say court? Kemp slow stood. Room held breath. Eyed faces. Townsfolk. Press. Former hero callers. Voice trembled. No words fix did. No forgiveness beg. Just want rest. Buried. Now perhaps buried memories rest life. Eyed Elena. Sorry. No expect forgive. Thanks forcing. No hide. Elena choked. No forgive. But believe justice did. Butte couldn't. 3 trial days. Forensics. Witnesses. Testimony. Pieces dark puzzle. December 17th. Jury returned 4-hour deliberation. Judge Hill. Verdict reached. Foreman rose. Yes, Your Honor. Unanimous 12-12. Defendant Harold James Kemp. Guilty first-degree murder. Teresa, Miguel, Ana Luis Moreno. Evidence concealment destruction. Emotion wave. Linda relieved. Teary. Elena face hugged sobs. Shoulders shook. Pike head bowed. Eyes closed. Relief heavy. 31 years. Walk Delgado's lonely path. Judge Hill sentenced. Firm. Given crime gravity, intentional 4 murders, including 2 children. Court sentences Harold James Kemp life without parole. Court acknowledges bravery justice return. Sheriff Aaron Pike. Ex-Deputy Frank Delgado. Citizen Elena Cruz. Trial ends. Gavel 3. Thud, thud, thud. Dry echoes room. Like permanent past door lock. Escorted out. Kemp glanced back. Aaron. Soft, deep voice. Watch Lake me. Shouldn't silent more. Pike no reply. Watched vanish cold hall. Outside, snow fell. First winter flakes, gray-white Santa Fe ground. Elena steps, sky-gazed. Whispered. Aunt Teresa, Uncle Miguel, Ana, Luis, finally peace. Linda neared. Hand held. Justice never vanishes. Takes time return path. Pike steps away. Sheriff hat hand, sky-eyed. Remembered Delgado. Kept old log. Forced silent. First believed no accident. Soft farewell. Found them Frank. Night. National News Open. Santa Fe. Ex-sheriff life sentence. 1981 quadruple murder. Reporter concluded. Over 3 decades. Moreno case. New Mexico's oldest mystery. Officially closed. All questions answered. Justice wins. Next morning, New Mexico majors headlined. After 31 years, the desert gave them back. Cover 4 flag-draped coffins. Gray aspen sunset. Caption. Moreno family. 1981 missing. Found reburied Socorro. End state's oldest cold case. State TV replayed funeral. Intercut Elephant Butte Lake. Still low cracked rock bed hid all. Reporter ended. 3 decades, desert water together returned man-hidden truth. Week later, Elena Cruz Southwest Chronicle article, The Desert Remembers Everything, wrote, Thought desert where all vanishes, voices, traces, memories, wrong. Desert forgets not, quiet waits, like lake recede, returns justice missed. Somewhere peaceful surface. Truth lives. Waits patient here speak. Article spread local news. Town origin held memorial. Lake candles. Wood sign. The Butte remembers. We do too. Late afternoon. Pike alone drove Elephant Butte Reservoir. Water dropped feet more. Exposed fractured land forensics. Dug 4 skeletons. No tape. Iron markers reminders. Stood rusted railing. Exact Delgado. 1981. Cream paint spot. Wind stung face. Damp mud dry salt scent. Sunset Oregon mountains. Copper orange sky. Pike head bowed. Muttered. 31 years. Finally, water returned all. Eyes closed. Wind metal clank. Water light stone lap. Moment. Imagined kids laughter echo. Anna Luis. Woman soft Miguel call. Waves blended. Wind faded. Eyes open. Lake sunset reflected bright. No former black gloom. Changed. Like Butte cleansed long-held secret return. Pike turned. Left shore. Behind calm water. New moon. Before car. Glanced back. Soft. Rest Teresa. Heard voice. Socorro Sheriff Office. File hash 81174. Closed cases. Read solved. 2012. Pike handwritten note. Reopened Sheriff A. Pike. Evidence F. Delgado E. Cruz. Justice served. Beside. Delgado black-white photo. Old uniform smile. Pike touched frame. Past touched. Outside. Desert wind cold sand whisper distant. Nothing hide. Nothing unfound. File 81. 174 closed. Moreno family rests. Justice returns. Land thought forget. And final place. Vast desert silent water. Butte, New Mexico soul, remembers. As Elena wrote, the desert remembers everything, and one day it will make us remember too. Fade out. In U.S. Life Today, New Mexico 1981, cold case solved. Arrest shocks community. Reminds 3 realities. Truth needs time. Brave people. Self-correcting system. Specifically, cream paint streak. Elephant Butte. Railing radio log. Unit 12. Pursuit northbound. Suspect wagon. Seemingly minor flipped. 81 minor ridden 74 file. If Deputy Frank Delgado not kept photo log safe 31 years. If reporter Elena Cruz not dared post anonymous. The Butte still remembers. 38. Special. HK9 never nigh been matched. ROV sonar never deployed. Confession. They fought. I ended it. Forever. Lake hidden. Lesson applies. Keep papers, photos, emails, records, civil administrative complaints. Small detail. Saves case. U.S. FOIA records request citizen tool. Don't idolize power. Hero. Harold Kemp. Altered log. Kept Ford 7x294 keys. Hid backup gun. Trust needs verification. Agencies. Periodic audit. Weapon. Inventory. Digital signatures. Avoid. Overwritten script. Support local press. Delgados around. Dare speak unwanted. See anomaly. Note. Photo. Report official channels. Civil org. Lawyer aid. Tech justice ally. Mitochondrial DNA. Enabin ballistics. Sonar. ROV. Support cold case budgets. Finally. Environment. Speaks. 2012 drought. Dropped water. 20 feet exposed station wagon. View climate crisis community. Risk scan dams, lakes, infrastructure. Reminder. Truth not sinks. Waits patient. Find. Thanks followed. Moreno case decode journey. Justice Rose Desert Heart. Don't forget. Subscribe bell on next video. Explore mysteries beat. Not only remembers.